Hi, my name is Emily, and I need to get something off my chest. Something I've kept buried for far too long. Before you judge me, I only ask that you hear my story. I never imagined my life would take the turn it did. I still struggle to understand how everything spiraled so quickly. It's a memory that haunts me to this day. Something my husband made me do that changed the course of my life forever. It all started a few years ago. My husband John and I had been married for almost 10 years. Like most couples, we had our fair share of ups and downs, but nothing prepared me for what was coming. John used to be a kind, loving man, but over time, he changed. He became distant, cold, and more controlling. He stopped being affectionate, and our conversations became mechanical. I told myself it was just stress from work, but deep down, I knew something wasn't right. Then one evening, everything changed. John came home with an odd energy. He was unusually upbeat, almost too cheerful, but there was something unsettling in his eyes. We had dinner like usual. I was just about to clear the dishes when he asked me to sit down. His voice was serious. My heart started to race. "I've been thinking," he began, not meeting my gaze. "There's something I need to share with you." I nodded, bracing myself. He continued, "I've been feeling bored. I think it's time we try something different to spice things up." I thought maybe he was talking about a romantic getaway or even couples therapy, but what he said next shattered me. "I've arranged for us to meet two men. They're coming over this weekend." I blinked, confused. "What do you mean, two men?" "They're friends of mine," he said casually. "We're all going to spend the night together." The words didn't register at first. I felt sick, like the floor had been ripped out from under me. "This isn't us, John," I said, my voice trembling. "Why would you even suggest something like this? This is happening," he snapped. "It's something I want, something we need." I told him no, firmly. I thought that would be the end of it, that he would come to his senses, but it wasn't. Over the next few days, John became colder, more withdrawn. He barely spoke to me unless it was about the plan. He stayed out late, gave vague answers, and the tension in our home grew unbearable. I felt isolated, trapped. By Friday, dread consumed me. He was still set on it. I thought about leaving, packing a bag, disappearing, but I didn't. I still clung to the man I used to know. I hoped this was just some bizarre phase. I wasn't ready to give up everything we had built. Saturday came far too quickly. At 8 p.m., the two men arrived, strangers, sitting in my living room, like old friends of my husband. I didn't even know their names. My stomach churned. I sat on the couch, paralyzed. Their eyes occasionally landed on me, and I felt like I couldn't breathe. Then John leaned over, placing his hand on my knee. "Rachel, it's time." I froze. Every part of me screamed to run, but I couldn't move. "Please," he whispered. There was desperation in his voice, not just insistence. For a second, I saw a flicker of the man I used to know, but I also saw something darker. This wasn't just about a fantasy. It was about control, power, something deeper I couldn't fully grasp, but that didn't make it right. "I can't do this, John," I whispered, voice breaking. "This isn't who we are," he sighed, rubbed his temples in frustration. "You think I want this? I'm doing this for us." "No," I said firmly. "You're doing this for you. You've changed, John. This isn't about love anymore. It's about control." He clenched his jaw, stood up, pacing the room like a man unraveling. One of the men, let's call him Marcus, finally spoke up. "If this isn't happening, we should probably leave." For the first time, I really looked at him. He wasn't what I expected. Calm, respectful even. Not a monster, But that only made things more confusing. These weren't predators. They were people. And somehow, that made it worse. I still didn't move. Then John spoke again, quieter this time, but with finality. If you leave, we're done. It felt like a knife to the heart. I've given you everything, he said coldly. This is the one thing I ask for in return. I stood, shaking but resolute. This isn't love, John. This is manipulation. His eyes flashed with anger. He muttered something under his breath as I walked toward the door. Something like, "You'll regret this." Maybe I would, but I couldn't stay. I wouldn't let anyone, especially someone I once loved, force me into something that broke my soul. I stepped outside. The cool air hit my face like a slap. I felt relief, grief, and panic all at once. I walked. I had no idea where I was going. My thoughts were a blur. Eventually, I found myself on my best friend Sarah's doorstep. She opened the door, saw my tear-streaked face, and pulled me into a hug. No questions, just love. I stayed with her for days, trying to make sense of it all. I missed John. That was the hardest part, but I knew I couldn't go back. Something inside me had snapped. John called, voicemail swinging between apologies and rage. I didn't answer. Eventually, he stopped trying. Months later, I filed for divorce. It was the hardest decision of my life, but it was the right one, because I finally understood something. I deserve better. Love is not supposed to feel like pressure, shame, or fear. It's supposed to be built on trust, mutual respect, and care, not control. I still think of John sometimes, of what could have been, but I'm learning to let go, slowly, surely, one day at a time.